So I just uploaded a video with the title "The Message is We Deserve Our Own Demise, Part 1. I planned to do like it all in a one-hour, but I could feel my voice starting to, I needed to cough, and in that vid I mentioned at the start that I have a wee bit of a cold, which is a rarity for me, very much so. Anyway, with that in mind, can we get back to this vid? And we'll call this part 2. And the reason it's so important, I think, because you could look to the Scottish government, you could look to the European Parliament, you could look to Westminster. You hear the same things: is that we're the cause of all pollution, and countries who have apparently have nothing, no effect, but have got vast amounts of issues. Well, we need to support them. So, but all you need to do historically is look at, well, what the hell were we doing in Iraq in the very early 1990s? And why did we leave Saddam Hussein still on the throne, so to speak? So much so that we had to go back again, remember? And so many others. And I've always said, look, there is not a country in the world that's not Freemasonically controlled. And even when you look at Russia, double-headed eagle, come on. Seriously. We have been in world government for a very long while, and I keep telling people, look, we're not dealing with 1%. We're dealing with these interconnected occult networks. That's what we're dealing with, who have a view on the world through their various cult ideologies that the rest of us absolutely do not share, because for good reason. Well, everything they're doing is immoral, disgusting, destructive to the family, to nations, to individuality, to life itself. Seriously. Remember, even when you look at the Scottish government, what are they really focused on just now? Allowing people who are at ages, they really shouldn't be making these decisions themselves, to take things that will affect them hormonally to such an extent that they will ultimately not be able to have children, procreate, all the rest of it, and to change the limits on abortion to, well, up to birth, and apparently beyond. And if you feel depressed, well, you look at Canada, look at Australia to an extent, look at Holland, Belgium, other places. Well, if you're depressed, well, why don't we just put you out your misery? Yeah, yeah. Or oh wait, there's people silently praying for people outside or just even nearby abortion clinics. Well, they're obviously the spawn of Satan, even although ultimately what's running this is very much similar. Yeah, it is quite literally interconnected death cults that are doing very well for themselves at the moment, I would argue. From the occult elite's point of view, they've had to humour this 10% interconnected, lunacy for a very long time, and they're fine-tuning the business model. They've already told them whether they've got eyes to see and ears to hear. Well, over the long term, you're not going to be here either. But, their view, the underlying occult is, well, I'd rather be playing musical chairs than be seen as part of the public. It's complex beyond belief, but we are dealing with a religion overall, an occult religion, and a lot of it, although not exclusively, has to do with this thing called theosophy. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky and her crew and various others. But anyway, let's get back to what we're doing here. Part 2. And let me just, play it from scratch. Don't know who she is. Blah, blah, blah. This is all discussed in the first vid. But let's do this.
To understand, we become a small global village. That what happens in Damascus will affect Dublin, and what happens in Kiev will affect Cork, and vice versa. We can't live in isolation.
And even that alone, I know, sorry for interruptions, but how much did America which is, what is it, something like 30 plus trillion apparently in debt. Just chuck to the Ukraine. What was it, 60 odd billion dollars? Yeah. Meanwhile, their borders are open. But no, don't focus on our borders. Let's focus on Ukraine. Seriously. The money that has been, and remember, you're apparently on the hook for this debt because you apparently live there. And there's so many people want to get there, but I don't think realise this. Well, you'll be a debt slave as soon as you come here, because apparently, even although these puppets have spent this apparently on your behalf, well, we're all in this together. What? I could do a better job of this, but let's carry on.
As long as we have the root of the problem, which is war, persecution, conflicts, poverty, climate change, the asylum seekers and people naturally will seek a better life, will seek safety, will seek refuge in other lives. So we need to be...
Seriously. I mean, the very obvious in the UK is, why are, for example, people who have fought in wars, ex-military, veterans as they call them, why are they out in the streets when Ahmed and whoever else can ding himself across and just get treated like a god? Even although they're being told, hey, let's just get rid of any paperwork you've got and all the rest of it. But it ties into, well, we need an ID card and this will stop, which it won't. But, and then it'll be, well, people are throwing their ID cards away, so we really need something a bit more constructive if we really want to stop this. So it'll be a chip under the skin and whatever else, biometric-wise, blah, blah, blah. And they planned this for a very long time. And there's an awful lot of actors involved.
Be more intelligent in expecting that this is a start. It's going to increase in the future.
I mean, they're literally telling you, if you think things are bad just now, whoa, beside you.
How about organizing ourselves, organizing our government, our effort? It's not actually a government issue only, it's a national issue where communities should be contributing, government with the opposition, with everyone, so we can at least...
Trouble is, all opposition's controlled, and this is 21st century communism. The first version of communism, we were already in world government. It was funded by the banks and whoever else, seriously. And the underlying occultist network were there to do things. We've always had this 10%, I would argue, and by and large, called the occultists, for many hundreds of years. I'll repeat, what the occult elite are doing is fine-tuning the business model, because the effort to keep this 10% of underling scumbags who are somewhere on the sociopathic, psychopathic spectrum is incredible. And they've already told you, look, is it that much of a stretch that people, even although they're being told that's that guy or whatever image you're thinking you're looking at is AI? We're now 2+ generations into, well, they seem to say the right things. Come on. Anyway, where were we?
Find a decent place for people arriving here and at the same time taking care of our own people. Everyone on this land is our own, and we should take care of everyone.
They are on that sociopathic, psychopathic spectrum. Many of them, honestly, I could do other vids. You cannot believe the amount. For example, the feminists in the underlying occult. There's apparently this sort of mystic shenanigans with massages. You know what they're massaging? Their fannies. They're getting their fannies massaged. It's some part of spirituality. You could not make this up. Seriously. You could not. But then, of course, if more people subscribed, I'd make more effort to go into the detail. Not all of it's bad. I've learned quite a lot. Anyway, your thoughts, your thumbs ups, your shares, and your subscriptions would be very much appreciated, and I'll speak to you soon.